Good day. Hope you're doing well. Today we have another article from Screen Rant dated July 26, 2019. Star Wars. 5 ways lightsabers have changed and 5 ways they stayed the same. So, let's get into this. When you think of Star Wars, you probably also think of one of the most iconic science fiction weapons ever invented. The lightsaber is flashy, elegant, and instantly recognizable. The sleek beam weapon is better than any phaser or handheld blaster. Much about the lightsaber has changed since the release of Star Wars A New Hope in 1977, more than 40 years ago. A great deal of new material has been added to the series universe. A brand new trilogy of movies was produced with new unique lightsabers for a new generation of Jedi. It's only natural that they've evolved alongside their ever-expanding galaxy, but even still, something about their appeal remains fundamentally unchanged. Here are some ways lightsabers have changed over the years, and some, they've stayed the same. Number 10. Changed. They only came in 2 colors. In the first 2 movies of the original trilogy, A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, lightsabers were only seen in 2 colors, blue for Jedi, red for Sith. Well, actually the props themselves were just white and the blade colors were rotoscoped in after the fact, but the blue and red lightsabers became shorthand for what side of the Force you were on. Right up till Luke Skywalker came along in Episode 6 and built his own lightsaber to replace the one he lost in the fight with Darth Vader. The new blade was shown as blue in the original promotional material and even some original edits of the movie. Ultimately, it was changed to the first new lightsaber color since the beginning of the series, green. Why? Because the color of the special effects showed up better against the blue Tatooine sky. Number 9. They still can't cut through everything. The cutting power of a lightsaber is tremendous. They're shown to carve just as easily through metal as they do through flesh, and the heat from the blade is so intense that it cauterizes wounds as it passes through them. Luckily for Luke and his lost hand. But there are some materials in the galaxy that can resist a lightsaber strike. Mandalorian iron and the gauntlets of the elite Praetorian Guard can deflect a slashing blow, though direct thrust could still penetrate the armor. The hide of the extinct Zillo beast can resist lightsabers as well, though it's very rare. In most cases, lightsaber-resistant armor is difficult to acquire and is rarely used by common soldiers. Number 8. They only had 1 blade. All the lightsabers in the original trilogy adhered to the same classic design. They had a single blade like a fencing saber or rapier. The very first dual-bladed lightsaber made its appearance in Star Wars The Phantom Menace, wielded by Sith Lord Darth Maul. Since then, many other new designs have made their way into canon, including spinning lightsabers, curved hilt lightsabers, and even lightsaber pistols. One of the more recognizable new designs is Kylo Ren's crossguard lightsaber, with 2 smaller blades acting as raw power vents for his damaged Crybur crystal. Number 7. The same. They're still offensive and defensive. The offensive powers of a lightsaber are clear and uncontested. Their ability to cut through most material makes them nearly unparalleled in combat, as the only weapon that can deflect their blows are other energy weapons, primarily other lightsabers. They're significantly more powerful when used in conjunction with the Force. There are 7 established forms of lightsaber combat developed by the Jedi Order, from the most basic Form 1, taught to all recruits, to the unstable and rarely mastered Form 7. Those particularly skilled in lightsaber combat in the Force can also use their blades defensively. Form 3 and 4 are specifically defense-focused and can be used to deflect incoming projectiles and blaster fire. And Form 5 can be used to reflect the same blaster fire back at your attacker, combining offense and defense in the same maneuver. 6. Changed. They are made of spinning reflective rods. The lightsaber visual effects of the original trilogy were fairly complicated. In A New Hope, the blades were made of three-sided rods covered with reflective material. The rods were attached to a compact motor in the lightsaber's hilt and spun rapidly. This would reflect set lights and make the blade seem to glow on camera. However, the props were fragile, and any shift out of the light revealed the spinning rods beneath. Since the blades were rotoscoped in post anyways, to give them their red and blue color, this effect was deemed more trouble than it was worth. During the filming of The Empire Strikes Back, they were replaced with simple carbon rods. The same. Number 5. You still need to make your own. This isn't technically a requirement to wield a lightsaber. After all, Luke manages to use Anakin's lightsaber just fine before he gets his hand cut off. But when he builds his own lightsaber in Episode 6, Luke finally comes into his own as a real Jedi Knight. It's not hard to assume that the discipline needed to construct a lightsaber is also important in learning the principles of the Jedi. In more recent canon, Jedi in training have been shown to harvest their own power crystals in order to build a weapon unique to their Force signature. Number 4. They weren't just for Force users. In the early drafts of the Star Wars storyline, using lightsabers wasn't reserved for the Jedi Order and other Force users. They were apparently a much more mundane weapon. Concept art showed them being wielded by both Rebel and Imperial soldiers. It was later decided to make them exclusive to the Jedi to make them more unique and mysterious. Also, they were originally called laser swords, which nearly is not cool. Number 3. The same. They still sound great. The sound design of the lightsaber is second to none. Not only are they glowing swords, but they're glowing swords that hum and buzz in a way that really makes you feel their power. The sound effect was developed by Ben Burt, using a combination of idling moving projector motors and television set interference. Every part of the lightsaber sounds incredible. The idle buzz, the hum as it moves through the air, the crash as two blades meet. Even just the sound of one activating stays with you long after you've watched the movie. Number 2. Changed. They didn't use Crybur crystals. Kyber crystals, the naturally occurring Force-attuned crystals used to construct lightsabers, weren't mentioned on the big screen until Rogue One. However, they have appeared in various non-canon and extended universe material. They were first shown in the episode The Clone Wars called The Gathering. In the episode, younglings were instructed to harvest their own crystals from caves on Ilum to make their personal lightsabers. And number 1, the same. They're still super cool. Listen, everything about lightsaber combines to make it one of the coolest and most pined after sci-fi weapon ever to exist. So many children are swinging around light-up telescoping lightsabers even more than 4 decades after the first movie's release. Disney reported that it sells more than 10 million toy lightsabers every year. Lightsabers mix the romantic, swashbuckling energy of sword fights with excellent visual and sound design. They come in many colors and shapes, so each one is unique. They let people join a side just by picking a color, and they conveniently stow themselves away for travel. They're the definite Star Wars prop, and that won't ever change. I love lightsabers. What do you guys think? I mean, if you like Star Wars, you probably love lightsabers. I mean, I have a pretty big collection. I got just 4 over here, but I got 10 up on racks upstairs. And yeah, I mean, lightsabers are awesome. So, tell me, do you have any lightsabers? Do you just have the toy ones? Do you have more heavy-duty ones, like that you can get from Ultra Sabers, Vader's Vault, Saber Forge, whatnot? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know which one that you do have. I really like to know that. Alright, so thanks for watching. Take care. Have an awesome day.